So far, we have had 6 MCU Disney Plus shows, and rankings are always interesting, so here's mine. So, in last spot, we have Hawkeye, the reason being that the show was just incredibly boring, which is especially disappointing when the trailer hinted to it being somewhat like classic 80s action with just an average Joe hero. Something like Die Hard, but that's not what we got. Hawkeye is meant to be this aging hero dealing with not being as capable as he used to be, but it never really poses a serious issue for him. It also kind of delves into his time as Ronin, kinda ends up as wasted potential, as it does come back to haunt him, but not in a consequential way. I think to improve this show, the criminal world needed to be actually threatening, instead of being made up of cartoonish buffoons. And you could also raise the stakes, put his family in danger, or something like that. And have a mystery that's actually interesting. Although Haley Steinfeld was quite likeable as Kate Bishop. In 5th position, we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good either. And it honestly felt like it could have been a 2-hour movie, cutting off the fat leading to this story and plot flowing a lot better. But to be honest, the story is not amazing anyway, delving into the pressure of Sam taking on the mantle of Captain America, and Bucky getting over his past as a brainwashed assassin. Now, both of these have potential, but we don't spend enough time with Bucky, and Sam just comes off as annoying when he's bothered that someone else becomes Captain America, because, you didn't want it. Also, the show expresses some interesting morals from Sam, supporting legit terrorists who have killed dozens of innocent people. John Walker was definitely the most interesting part of the show, and greatly shows the pressure of taking on a role and being put in a certain position. At number 4, we have What If, which had huge potential as an idea, but the execution was just so meh. With the episodes being so short, the ideas could not be fully realised in my opinion, only giving us a glimpse of the alternate universe instead of a clear view. I also feel the show felt somewhat childish and lacking seriousness, but this isn't due to it being animated, more its approach with dialogue and action. The zombie episode being a great example because characters' friends are dying, and they're all just cracking jokes. At number 3, I put WandaVision, which to me is the most frustrating as it started as new and interesting, but not exactly everyone's thing, and I admired that. However, as the show progressed, it regressed into the standard Marvel schlock, giving us really boring answers to amazing setup mysteries. But the main part of the show being the relationship between Wanda and Vision was actually really well done, and if you are a Marvel fan, it's worth watching it for these two. Our runner-up is Loki, which ironically was the show I was least excited about, but turned out quite enjoyable. The time and space travel really added variety into the story, and to me, scratched that Doctor Who itch I've had. I really liked the buddy cop dynamic between Loki and Mobius. Not weird Jared Leto, Lightning McQueen. Also, the Wizard of Oz type mystery with the origins of the TVA was really good, but the show drops off slightly for me with the character Sylvie, the female version of Loki, because it just didn't feel like Loki at all. She was a completely different character, and sometimes it felt the show's focus was more on her than Loki himself, the title character. Also, another negative was the finale being just this massive exposition dump, and not the interesting type, acting as a textbook case of why you need to show not tell. At the number 1 spot is Moon Knight, the latest of the shorts. I do already have a dedicated video on the show, so I'll keep this brief. I enjoyed how this show did its own thing, focusing on telling its own story rather than trying to fit in with everything else happening. It felt new and individual, so creative freedom can run wild. Because let's be honest, at this point, the MCU having everything connect and overlap just feels gimmicky. Also, our lead character Moon Knight himself was something super refreshing, but the downsides of the show lie in its limited episode run, which could have definitely been doubled. And also its lack of commitment to being gritty and darker than previous projects is a bit annoying. So there's my ranking of the Disney Plus Marvel shows, but I have to say, even the ones I found enjoyable are still kind of just mediocre, with none of them being must-watchers in the world of entertainment. And even though Moon Knight was definitely a step in the right direction, what Disney Plus has for the MCU round the corner ain't looking too good. Alright, see ya.